got to stand up for what's right, and we got to make sure we stand up against these developers that are doing this type of stuff. And the only way we're going to do it is by what we're doing here today. You guys are champions in this.
That's right. Thanks for being here. Let's go to the Capitol and let's demand that they stop tax fraud. Let's get on it!
Stop tax fraud! 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 Stop tax fraud!
All right. Good morning, brothers and sisters. My name is Neildon Jncharles, and I'm a union representative for the NorCal Carpenters Union. Join me here today. We'll have a few speakers speaking on the matter today. We are standing here at the state capitol in Sacramento to let our voices be heard on an issue that cannot be ignored. This is one of several events taking place at a national level throughout the country. Our voices need to be heard. We all may know why we gathered here today, but for those of you joining us on social media and elsewhere, we need to bring awareness to what's taking place when it comes to tax fraud. When contractors cheat workers, it affects us all. Our community loses well-deserved revenue for roads, bridges, schools, affordable housing, etc. Responsible contractors pay their fair share. So why should irresponsible contractors get away with this type of crime? It's a crime that hurts workers for loss of pay, benefits, monies that should go towards improving community resources. We are losing billions of dollars on an annual basis because of industry tax fraud. We all are affected by this. So we need to take a stand on this issue and let our voices be heard. Come on, everyone, one more time. What's the chant? Stop tax fraud! Stop tax fraud! Stop tax fraud! Stop tax fraud! Stop tax fraud!
Stop tax fraud! Stop tax fraud!
So now I'm going to be introducing the speakers we have here for today. For starters, City Council member Katie Valenzuela.
You know, Monday is tax day. So like a lot of Californians, I had to pay my tax bill this week. It hurt. But I was happy to do it because I knew where that money was going. I knew it was going to our schools. I knew it was going to our roads. I knew it was going towards services, affordable housing, the things we need to be a community that takes care of each other. So I paid that bill. And everybody should have to pay that bill. We've said as a state, misclassifying workers hurts workers. Misclassifying workers creates a race to the bottom, and we are about high road jobs in this state. We are about high road jobs in this city. We should be rewarding contractors and developers that are paying their fair share, that aren't passing the buck to workers, that aren't expecting workers to pick up the slacks for their irresponsibility, their attempt to put more money in their pockets and not in the pockets of Californians and the workers who deserve that money. So we are here to take a very clear stand that we stand with the workers. We are holding developers accountable, and we will continue to do everything we can to raise our voice against those, to draw attention to those that are doing the wrong thing, and to make sure we are rewarding those who do the right thing. You know, very often in my job, I get complaints about, gosh, that's so expensive to pay prevailing wage. Gosh, that's so expensive to pay, make sure they have benefits, to go with contractors that have agreements with unions, that we need to save money by going with other contractors. I mean, you mean you're saving money on the workers. When you are doing that, you're saying that your priority is your bottom line, not on the people who are doing the work to build these buildings, to make sure that this stuff is moving forward in the way it needs to be. Paying more up front means that these folks behind me get just wages for the trained work that they are doing, the skilled labor that they bring to projects. It means they are able to patronize businesses, to send their kids to good schools, to take care of their families. So we need to take a stand against contractors that are exploiting the system. They are coming forward saying, look, we can save you money. Do it this way. Well, the lower bid. No, sometimes it's worth paying more to do the right thing. And in Sacramento, we need to take a stand against developers. We need to take a stand against anybody getting permits. So I am interested in introducing a measure in the city that I've talked a little bit about before that says that anybody who gets a permit in our city needs to be doing fair labor practices. That means benefits, that means prevailing wage, and that means working with parties to ensure fair labor practices are in place. And I think we can do that. Nobody should get a permit to do business in the city of Sacramento that can't at least make that baseline requirement. And so we're going to keep working together to make that happen. And I believe that cities like Sacramento should be taking a more proactive role in enforcement and making sure that we are identifying and promoting the good guys and that we are highlighting and holding accountable the people in our city who continue to take advantage of workers and continue to not pay their fair share. So we are committed here. I'm recommitting myself here today. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for all you're doing to fight for justice for all workers, not just those in the Carpenters, but beyond. We know that the fight you are waging today is for all of us. So thank you for being out here today, and we stand with you now and into the future. Thank you.
Let's hear it, everyone. Pay your share. Pay your share. Pay your share. Pay your share. All right, next in line we have Sacramento County District Attorney candidate, Alana Mathews. All right.
Deep inside, I've got this pride of just being a union supporter, of just being born in a household of union supporters and union fighters and union leaders. Born to strong union parents. My dad was a pipe fitter. My mom was a housekeeper in a local hospital. And they fought for better wages. They fought for better working conditions, and they fought for everybody to pay for their fair share. So today we see that we still have construction contractors who are not paying their fair share. And how do we know they're not paying their fair share? Because they misclassify workers. They pay their employees off the books and less often. They operate in the dark shadows of the underground economy. They record false or forged documents. They avoid payroll taxes and fail to report full payroll accurate information for unemployment insurance and workers' compensation insurance. But we're not here to just talk about the problem. We need to talk about the solution. And I'm standing here today to tell you the solution is a deputy DA who will stand behind you and enforce the law against those who are not paying their fair share. So how do we do that? Well, I'm just going to give you 5 fast reasons. We look at Labor Code 1778, Labor Code 1776, Workers Penal Code 1158. Let me tell you, I'm running for DA because I know the law. I know what I'm talking about. We look at Insurance Company Insurance Fraud Code Section 11880, fraud against the state. Compensation insurance fraud, unemployment insurance code section 2117.5. Don't worry, you all don't have to know it. I do. So I'm just going to read them off to you. Unemployment insurance code 218.5 and labor code 1776. So we don't want to just talk about the problem. We want to talk about the solution, but we want to be the solution. We want to make sure that everybody is paying their fair share, because when you don't pay your fair share, not only do communities pay, but families pay. Families pay without having the money. Justice delayed is justice denied. Say it with me. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice delayed is justice denied. So we're not only going to demand that everyone pays their fair share, because we all paying our fair share, right? Are we paying our fair share? Are we paying our fair share? We're going to elect leaders who are going to demand that they pay their fair share. So Katie just said that she wants to get an ordinance in place. I got your back. I want to enforce that ordinance. All right? All right? All right? It's time to stop building the benefits on the backs of our hard-working Americans, our hard workers, those who are on the front line building the buildings that we enjoy, the infrastructure that we enjoy, but not giving the benefits. So, as we end this tax fraud day, I want you to know I intend to start a hotline where you can report taxpayer fraud, because it's not only working the employees, it's hurting the employers who are paying their fair share of giving the jobs to the employees, right? So we want a fair, equal playing ground. Is that too hard to ask for? Is that too much to ask? No. And we want to receive all the benefits and the protections, because we don't want injuries on the job, right? And there's not insurance to cover that injury, right? So it has a lot of implications. But most importantly, we don't want people going without food, going without being able to pay their mortgage. This is the daughter of a union household talking right now. We don't want people missing their car payments because someone didn't pay their fair share. We don't want someone's kid missing a college tuition payment because someone didn't pay their fair share. We don't want to lose resources for public safety, public education, because someone didn't pay their fair share. So we stand today in solidarity, demanding it's not fair if you don't pay your share. Say it with me. It's not fair if you don't pay your share. Thank you.
One more time. Pay your share. Pay your share. Pay your share. Pay your share. All right. So California Attorney General Rob Bonta was going to be with us today, but unfortunately he's unable to make it in person. But however, he did invite his Chief of Staff, Viviana Becerra, to say a few words on the matter. Help me put your hands together for Viviana Becerra.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Good Friday. It's a great Friday, a beautiful day. The sun is out just for us because we're shedding some light today, right? So my name is Viviana Becerra, Chief of Staff to California Attorney General Rob Bonta, and I am so proud to stand here today with our NorCal Carpenters. I'm honored to represent Attorney General Rob Bonta and to let you know that he stands with you. At the California Department of Justice, we stand with workers. We stand with union labor, including when it comes to fighting tax fraud in the construction industry. Let's be crystal clear here. Tax fraud is a crime, and there have been real victims. Just as the Attorney General says, when contractors fail to pay proper employment taxes, when workers get paid under the table, when employees are misclassified, what emerges is a race to the bottom. A race to the bottom where union labor is denied work. A race to the bottom where our schools and our students are shortchanged. A race to the bottom where our hospitals, libraries, our emergency services are denied the critical funds that they need. We all lose when it comes to tax fraud. Attorney General Bonta knows NorCal Carpenters and the labor movement have fought hard for good wages. You have fought hard for benefits. You have fought hard for workplace safety. And we cannot let an unfair playing field undermine these victories. No way, and not on our watch. And that is why the Attorney General is committed to enforcing the law. He's committed to ensuring that tax cheats pay a steep price. He is committed to bringing the underground economy out of the shadows and into the light, because that's good for workers, and that's good for society and the economy, period. I'm the proud daughter of Mexican immigrants and the proud granddaughter of my abuela Nena, who was a union rep herself. And I've seen firsthand what happens when members of my community are left in the shadows, afraid to speak up and unable to stand up for their rights. I share the Attorney General's belief that no worker belongs in the shadows. We must ensure that every worker is able to operate on a level playing field. And that means we must enforce and strengthen the law and expand on solutions that work. Whether you're an apprentice or you've been building California for decades, the California Department of Justice stands with you. We stand with all working people, and we fight alongside you for good living wages, for safe working conditions, for fair competition, and for strong enforcement against bad actors who try to cheat the system. Thank you, NorCal Carpenters, for shining a bright light on this crime, and thank you for leading the way. The California Department of Justice is proud to stand with you in the fight against tax fraud, and please remember that Attorney General Rob Bonta will always have your back. Thank you.
Let's hear the chant. Stop tax fraud. Stop tax fraud. Stop tax fraud.
Stop tax fraud! Stop tax fraud! Stop tax fraud! Stop tax fraud!
So I was also able to bring along one of the victims who were cheated on their wages by an irresponsible contractor. And he has decided to join the fight with us today so he can say a few words on the matter. Right? Like I said, he's a victim of what took place, and so he's going to come to the stage. Please help me welcome Jose Chavez.
My name is Jose Chavez, and I have been a wood framer for 5 years. During that time, I was a victim of wage theft in many forms. One company was cutting the hours I was working. We never were able to take any rest breaks, and they didn't pay for breaks either. And I mostly worked under piece rate, so we had to work long hours. But they did not pay me overtime. And only one company offered me to have health insurance, but I had to pay for it. So when there were wage theft, there was no place to go. Then I got enough and I stood up against my old contractor. Later I received payment for all the hours and overtime that they didn't pay. And it felt good to be made whole. But even more was that I got an opportunity to join the Carpenters Local 46, and I have been working as an apprentice for almost 1 year. I have health care and prevailing wage, and if something goes wrong with my pay, there is oversight to make sure I am protected. The Carpenters take care of each other and make sure that fair contractors are working and following the rules. I hope the officials who spoke today will work hard to make laws that protect working people from the cheating contractors who have advantage of hard-working people like us. Thank you.
Stop tax fraud. Stop tax fraud. Stop tax fraud. Stop tax fraud. This is a prime example of why we need to stand up against tax fraud, right? You heard it from Jose himself, and this is one of several. So this is definitely, again, why we have to bring it up. All right, last but not least, I want to help me introduce to the podium Miss Mayor of Vacaville, the NorCal Carpenters representative, Rowlett.
Thank you very much. It's amazing to be here. I want to thank the speakers that showed up today that care about tax fraud and that are going to help us overcome all the crime scenes that are out there right now. We have a lot of work to do. And if you want, like I want, better roads, safer streets, affordable housing, school buildings that our children are excited to attend, then we need your help. We need you to call our local and state representatives and tell them to stand up against tax fraud. Ask them to support and strengthen bills like SB 727. Ask them to promote prevailing wage, promote apprenticeship standards, promote family medical for all construction workers, and then make sure that we have oversight and compliance on all job sites. Let's tell our public officials it's time to prosecute wage theft because it is a felony against all of us. So are you with me? Let's stop tax fraud. 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 Stop tax fraud.
Pay your share. Pay your share. Pay your share. Pay your share. So as you heard today, we need to end tax fraud. Jose Chavez was a great example of why we should be bringing this to light. Mr. Jose went to work every day to provide for his family and had money stolen from him through tax fraud. Don't know about you, but if I had money stolen from me, it would basically devastate my life. We need to call our local representative and state local representative, kind of like Ron said, and push to stop tax fraud. Thank you, everyone. For the road, stop tax fraud! 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 Stop tax fraud!